thriller between Girona and Real Sociedad. It was the Basques, though, who took all 3 points, a 5-3 win for the Churi Urdin. A really entertaining game between Celta and Betis. Betis, who were reduced to 10 men early on. Celta with this terrific goal from Gabri Vega, but Betis had their chances. They couldn't take them, though. All 3 points staying at the Estadio Balaidos for the home side. And the first game of the day, more entertainment, more goals, more sendings off as well. Espanyol 2, Valencia 2. A mistake from the goalkeeper there, Alvaro Fernandez. He won't want to see that again. Sorry, we've just shown it to him again. It finished 2-2 between Espanyol and Valencia. That's what's happened today. Loads for us to get through. We'll also talk about some other interesting aspects of the weekend's action. We're going to be here for the next hour and a half, so you guys should stick around as well. Joining us in the studio, Victor Sanchez del Amo and Tony Padilla. Get involved in the conversation on social media. If you'd like to, we're on Twitter. Our handle is @LaLigaTV. Tell us what was your highlights or your low points of the weekend from match day 7 in La Liga Santander. Let's have a look at how the table looks, shall we? After 9 games in match day 7, there's still one more to come tomorrow, Monday Night Football. But look at that. Looks good if you're a Barcelona fan. First time this season, they are top of the table on Sunday night. Real Madrid dropping down to second place on goal difference. Athletic Club are third, and Real Betis still in a Champions League spot. A very interesting looking top 4 there. If we look at the bottom of the table, well, it doesn't look good for Elche, although they play on Monday night away to Rayo Vallecano. They're 4 points from safety, although a victory would lift them to a little bit closer to the safety positions. Cádiz Almería are also in the relegation zone, and look at Sevilla. They're 17th. Nobody would have predicted they would have been there after 7 matches at the start of the season. So that's how the table looks. We're going to start off by showing you the highlights from the game at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, which has just finished. It finished 1-1 between Real Madrid and Osasuna. There was an honorary kickoff. There was a minute's silence as well to respect the tragedy in Indonesia. And then there was a performance from Real Madrid, Victor, which wasn't their best this season. No. Probably, maybe even their worst this season.
Yeah, poor performance, in my opinion. Poor performance today. We mentioned before, these kind of games after international breaks, sometimes the players, they didn't switch on, they didn't full commit to the game, full focus. And it's also something that is happening in many games at Bernabeu for Real Madrid side, especially against teams that it's supposed you are going to win the game. So they didn't push from the first minutes, and today they did, especially the first 5-10 minutes. They went to face Osasuna in their own pitch. They get some good crosses and corners. They were close in the opponent's area, but in my opinion they stopped it there, and then the game came into a very slowly pace that was perfect for Osasuna interests, defending well organized, waiting their moments to the counter. They had their chances, and Real Madrid only they changed the pace again when they were in the last minutes with the draw in the score with one player more, but without understanding and reading the game, very slowly passing, not accuracy crosses. So they create some chances, of course, but also in the final touch they were well, like other days, and today no individuals come to the rescue. So in my opinion, well-deserved draw for Osasuna, and the worst performer for Real Madrid this season.
Interesting match stats here. You can see only 4 shots on target from 22 shots. Have a look again. Only 4 on target. You expect more from Real Madrid at home. They had more possession, but they didn't necessarily do what they needed to with that possession. We'll talk more in just a moment, but let's get some reaction from the Bernabeu. We can hear from Real Madrid defender Antonio Rudiger, who's been speaking to La Liga TV.
Good evening, Antonio. What is your view on tonight's game, on tonight's performance, that 1-1 draw? What did you make of that game?
Yeah, I think we didn't start well. We were a bit too passive and lost a couple of balls. But still, I think we controlled the game, and we scored. And such game you have to get the second one. which we didn't get, and and their goal. For me, this is they were lucky. Like I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that goal by them, he's a physical presence up front. What was that battle like for you in defence?
Yeah, like I think we had him good under control. It's like okay, sometimes he will win duels, but I think we kept him quiet until the goal, and I think he himself he knows he didn't know how this went in.
Obviously, you can't win every game of the season. This is the first game that hasn't ended in a victory. The fact that they had a player sent off at the end and that penalty, does it make it feel or taste a little bit more bitter?
Yeah, definitely. Like because we had the chance to win this game, and even not without the penalty, I think we had a couple of chances, and we came often to their goal, and they came one time and scored. I think that's the difference today.
Thank you very much, Antonio.
He was disappointed, Antonio Rudiger. You could tell very, very disappointed to have drawn that game. It was almost like Real Madrid had lost. He seemed very, very upset at the result. A little bit unfair, maybe, saying that the Osasuna goal was lucky because the Real Madrid goal from Vinicius was a cross and it ended up going in as well. So that was maybe a little bit fortunate. But yeah, you can understand why Rudiger is disappointed. This was a game that they would have absolutely wanted to win to go back to the top of the table.
He should be disappointed. And sometimes it's true that you know that you didn't play a good game, and your first reaction obviously is to protect your teammates. So you talk about the lack of the other team, or sometimes you point at the referee, whatever, what happens. The case is today, it wasn't a good performance by Real Madrid. They need to perform better. It's true that they just need a really lucky cross to score the goal, and then they really unable to compete to break the defense of a really good Osasuna side. But it's not a surprise to see Osasuna playing exactly this kind of game because they've done it before, as Victor remind us, that season. So they had time to trying to work in how to break Osasuna's defense. They've been unable to do it, but I can imagine the frustration of Antonio Rudiger. Sometimes he's not playing in the starting 11. Today he was there, and they've been unable to win the 3 points. And this means that for the first time in years, Barca is on the top of the table. So okay, it's not to worry, it's something to really worry about it. But you always prefer to sleep at the end of the weekend in the top of the table, and it's not the case with Real Madrid.
You said years. I think it is literally something almost like 3 years since Barcelona were top of the table at the end of a match day. I don't have that confirmed, but it's at least 2 years since Barcelona were top of a match day, top of the table at the end of the match day. So this is emotionally important for Barcelona, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about Real Madrid and this draw with Osasuna. You predicted it, Victor. You said it when we were talking about this game. We were building up to it. And you said after the international break, you often see these kind of performances. And you know, I mean, you've been there. You've been a manager. You've been a player. You know that this.
Yeah, and also Real Madrid games this season at Bernabeu, especially against these kind of teams, they haven't come into the game with a full spirit to go to the game. Instead of that, they wait till the end of the games to press, to run, to play with more intensity, to create more chances. So if they do this from the beginning, it's very different. It's very different. I think they underestimate today their opponent. That is something maybe in purpose, I don't know, or something that you do because you are focused, you are coming from traveling, you are thinking in other things, not full focus in the game. That thing happens many times, and I'm sure that Ancelotti has tried to avoid that. But now we have been listening Rudiger, that was a player that had to be full focus in the game because also he is fighting for a place in the first 11. So I understand his comments after the game because he's quite disappointed because he lost a chance to show that he performed well. I think he did very well job, especially in defending with the situations that Osasuna they had. Always Rudiger went to save the team in the special moment and trying to help also with his headers, but Real didn't perform in high well because they underestimate the game and the opponent. Not good performance, not good passing accuracy, not good rhythm, crossing from any position, never reaching the byline. So at the end, Real Bernabeu always create chances to score, for sure, but not so clear today. They missed the penalty also, but it's not that. It's the way they play today. It was in a low level, in a low pace.
Let's hear from someone who was involved in the game, get some reaction from Real Madrid forward Rodrigo, who's been speaking.
Yes, I think it's always difficult to face Osasuna. They made it very, very tough for us throughout the game, and we have to keep working hard to try and deal with games like this to get the points on the board, because you know that many teams play like this. Is the biggest disappointment the fact that you could have won the game with the penalty, and the fact that Osasuna went down to 10 men and you still couldn't win late on? Yes, but these things can happen. I think today was a bad day for us, but I don't think it's all bad because we didn't lose, but we obviously wanted all 3 points, and now we have to keep working hard to prepare for what's to come. Obviously, you are in quite good form, and a draw seems like a bad result. Yes, but it's also the identity of Real Madrid. We have to go out to win every game that we play. So drawing here, we are a bit disappointed, but we know that these things can happen in football, and we can only try and react. This probably won't be the last time it happens this season, but it's better to draw than obviously to lose, but we always want to win.
Rodrigo speaking to La Liga TV after that.